looking at the finish here, and it just looks horrible. We're heading out to LA. I have a customer out there that contacted me before the holidays, and she has a bench swing that I built her 3 years ago. Well, the finish has failed. Today, I got my wife Robin on the camera. I got my brother-in-law in the back seat. He's going to help me get this bench swing, tore it apart, put in the truck, and bring it back. So the weather's nice out. It's about 58 degrees in Southern California, and it's going to heat up to about 71. So that's perfect. Here we go. All right, so we got it all loaded up. So we'll see you back at the shop. All right, back in the shop. Here's my first thoughts and my assessment after I looked at the bench. Obviously it's tore up. It's got a lot of water damage. This right here, this is not seasonal water damage. This is, I'm in the lawn and I'm probably getting hit with water 2 or 3 times every day. Replace all these bottom slats. And I'm gonna replace the arms. I'm going to make these out of, this is cedar, but I'm going to make this out of probably redwood or cedar, but 1.5 inches thick. Let's look at the back of it. Getting hit by water every day. So I'm going to reach out to the customer and let her know we could avoid all this. I don't want to do this again. I'm not in the refinishing business, but this was an excellent customer, 3-time customer. So, and she's fairly local, and so that's why I'm doing this. I thought it was the finish that failed, but the finish did not fail. Watering it every day made this finish fail. Let's go look at the brackets, the A-frames. All right, got them out here by the truck. Look at down here where the gardener's doing his weed whacking and just tearing it up, but you know, it's worse in some areas than others. But you know what, the finish, you can see some of the finish looks really good still right here. Look, that looks really good, but it's not getting the sprinklers every single day. So that looks good. This does not look good. This really looks bad. This stuff looks really good up here, but not where the sprinkler. This is the sprinkler side right here. All this. I'm going to take off all the bench slats and both arms because they're too far damaged, and see what we have. Drill the plug, it's out. The screw's right there. Let's take it out. Okay, so this is not going to work out refinishing this bench. It's total disaster, okay? So we're going to build a brand new bench. I've already cut most of the parts. I'm going to bring you along step by step and show you. It's a real easy build. If you need a bench swing, you don't need the A-frame that I have with this one. But if you just need a bench swing to hang from your structure, your patio cover, this is it. So let's get started. Okay, this is how you lay out the arm for the bench. My arms are 28 inches. I'm using a 2x6 redwood. You could use a 1x6 like I did before. I just used a coffee can round over the end here, however you want. This is optional if you want a cup holder. This fits my cup holder. This is 3.5 inches. On the back, it's 3 inches right here. And then pull from the back about, right, 15 inches is where it tapers off right here. These are on the outside. Pull from the inside over 2 inches. This is where we're going to drill the 2 holes for the chains. So pull from the back to drill your holes. 7 inches and 18 inches, 2 inches from the edge, the inside edge. Okay, and you're going to drill your hole, your 1-inch hole, at a slight angle because the chains come down like this. Okay, here are the seat supports. You have 4 of them. We need to carve this out to make it more comfortable for your butt. From the front, this is the front, the square side. Pull over 3 inches, that's going to be flat. Pull over from the front 11 inches and mark right here, this point. And from the back, long point, you're going to make a line from here to here, from here, and connect it here. That's going to be your scoop to make it more comfortable. So that's, you have 4 of those to cut out. Sand those down to make them perfectly smooth. Here are the arm support brackets. So this is 4 inches. Measure down about 1 3/4 inches and then cut that down 45. This is about 1 1/4 inches right here. Now we're going to round over all the bench slats with the 1/2 inch roundover bit. Here's how we start the bench. Grab 2 of your seat pieces with your angles in the middle, sitting like this. And grab your 1 square block goes here. Your long point to long point block is going to go here like this. So they're going to be opposite, one for your left and one for the right. So let's put these together. Take your front board, 59.5 inches. We're going to pre-drill on each side and screw it right into the 2x. Turn the bench around, take your backboard, just set it right there and pre-drill on both sides just like you did on the front and screw it in. Okay, grab your other 2 seat supports and space them out evenly. It turns out to be about 17 3/4, and then square them up, pre-drill them, and screw them in. Okay, so now we're going to take our armrest block support, put it right here on the front edge, right here. Just like that. We'll attach it with 2 screws and some glue because it's going to give you enough clearance for your chain right here. Okay, so when you attach your arm, I'm going to put 1 screw right in the middle of this 2x4 right here because I don't want to hit these screws over here if I put 2 in there. 1 will be good here, 2 will go into the support bracket right here, and then 2 more back here. So those 5 screws will hold that nicely. I loosened up the screws here on the bottom just so I can get everything nice and square and a nice fit right here and right here. Just a little pro tip for you. Before we put this backboard on right here, check for square on both sides and then take your measurement outside to outside of each arm. And this board's going to go right here below the arm just like this. This is how we're going to put in the back slats. Take your center board, put it in their center. My center was 28 3/8. Yours might vary just a little bit. Get it squared. And I'm going to use some brad nails. I'm going to put 4 brad nails down here, 2 brad nails up here, and then we'll screw it with deck screws. So now we need to notch around our seat support right here. And we have 4 of them to do. So I'll meet you at the bandsaw and show you how we're going to do that. I measured over 1.5 inches and drew that line. This is 20-degree angle right here. I measured up 3.5 inches right here to this point right here, which will be the short point of the board we're keeping, of this part right here, and just drew it around. I'm gonna cut this line right down as close as I can get it. You can do this by hand too, but I'm too lazy. All right, that's the front side, that's the back side. Let's go see how it fits. All right, there you go. That's a nice fit right there. Just push it there, right there. So we have 3 more. All right, let's do those and move on to the next step. We're going to secure these back slats with 2 screws right here on the inside underneath. You won't even see them. They're going to be covered up by the bench slats. But before we can put this angled piece on that we cut, we're going to finish drilling this and then screw them in. And these ones up here we'll screw in from the back side. Okay, so right now we're going to add 2 screws to each one of these boards, pre-drill and 2 screws. And then we're going to add another board right up here and do the same exact thing. And then that'll all be secured. And then we're going to figure out together the shape we're going to put on top of this and cut that. I'll be using 1 1/4 inch for this one and this one. It's going to be perfect for me though, I'll tell you that right now. So I'm pulling it where I got it. I'm pulling it to my mark right here. And I like that, so as I'm over here shaking, holding it. You see, hold it. I'm going to just look. That looks good. That's really good enough for me, so let's get it cut. I put a few brad nails into a few boards just to hold this while I put all the screws in. Let's measure out and cut for the front board. It goes all the way to the edge. I ran it about an 1/8 inch longer on each side, just so I have a little extra. And we're going to leave 1 inch right here, and remove that. And I'll continue that line. We'll do that on each side, and that'll be your fit for your front board. I'm going to round over that corner just a little bit to match this rounded over 2x inside the line. Just make half the cut and go from this side. Okay, so now it's time to start putting in the slats. The first slat's going to be the one you rip the angle on, the back slat. I'm going to glue all these, glue and nail this one first, then I'm going to lay out my other slats and see what they look like for my spacing. When I tore apart the old bench, the glue and these brad nails right here, I'm using 1 3/4 inch brad nails. They held really well. These are galvanized. I use the 1 3/4 inch on the seat slats, and I use the 1 1/4 inch up here to tack them in. Okay, so now you have your boards rounded over. 1/2 inch spacers worked out great. Just glue and brad nails one at a time until we get it all in. And it's fitting just a little bit too tight. I don't want to force it. So I like to use sanding block and a file. You can see it's just a little out of square right there, a little tight. Just break the edges, it'll give it a nice shadow line as well. See if it fits better. Let's check it out. Let's see. You break the edge, it gives it a nice shadow line. Let's see over here. Not bad, not bad. A little rounded, goes with the corner right there. Better than the last bench I did. You can cut your plugs out like this on the bandsaw and just slid it through there. Or if you don't have a bandsaw, you just pop them out with a screwdriver just like that. So this is what I normally do. I'm going to show you the different ways of getting them out. Okay, so now it's time to fill in the screw holes with plugs. There's a bunch of them on this side, the ones on the front, and the ones up here on the arm. It's easier to put it on a plate or a piece of wood. Just push that down. I'll clean those up in a minute. Clean them up with a little water, get that glue off, and let them dry completely before you cut them or sand them down. So now I'm just going to go around and break all the edges like this, all the way around the curve. We're going to drill 2 holes for the 5/16 bolt for the hardware for it to hang on. So measure up 5.5 inches in center, 5.5 inches in center over here. Around 69, 70. It's gonna have to be close enough. One more. Now we're gonna roll it back. Start it, roll it back. About right there. That's it. Whoa, almost went the wrong way. Even with brand new stain, make sure you mix it up because this stuff's all on the bottom. Just stir it up. And if you have a shaker, that's great. I don't have a shaker. Just stir it up until it's nice and smooth. It'll take a few minutes. All the legs had damage like this, okay? So I've already been wiping down stain. I'm gonna show you how I do it. It's a real simple method. I just use a cotton rag, painter's rag. Keep my rag wet, just like this. I just rub it in. I rub it in, and wipe it off. I don't wipe it off yet. I just keep it all wet. I'll let this stuff sit for about an hour and then wipe it off with the dry cloth. Let it set in. But I do this. I'm gonna just do this. I'm not gonna do this with you the whole way. But I just wipe it on. This is actually called honey, a penetrating stain. And then we're gonna seal it with spar urethane. I put it on just like this, and then I'm gonna do the rest of it. I'll let it sit for probably about an hour total. Probably when I'm all finished. When I'm all finished, I'll come back and just wipe it off lightly with a clean, dry rag. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, these are my 3 tools for staining this entire bench. The 2-inch brush, the 1-inch brush, the natural bristle, and just the cotton rag I said. Right here, I just brush on the backs because this side's a little rough. Okay, so that's what it looks like after spraying that finish on and back brushing it. Now we have 3 more coats to go, and we're going to sand in between each coat. As you can see, I'm bringing everything out of the paint booth out here on the driveway, and I'm going to lightly sand it with 1000 grit, get all the powder off here, and then take it back inside for each additional coat. I've made the mistake of sanding in the paint booth, and it is a mess. It ruins your finish, so don't do what I've done in the past. So that's why I'm out here. This was 400 grit, see, and it takes off the stain on the first coat. So now I'll put some more stain on that. I don't like that. So that's why I'm going to stick with 1000 grit. 1000 grit, you just deburrs it, what you're trying to do. Just take the fuzzies off, not the stain. So 200 grit would actually sand it. This feels super rough. So they always say 200 grit. I totally disagree with 200 grit. Always have. 400 grit, nope. 1000 grit. Second coat. right, here we are the next morning. So we're getting ready to lay down the third coat, but we're sanding in between coats. Final coat. Gonna knock down the heavy spots just a little bit, and that's it, and just leave it alone. Sometimes the more you play with it, the worse it is. So that's it. I'm just gonna hit down just one brush. That's it. I see a little heavy. That's it. Let it be. Okay, so now you're gonna take your 2.5-inch carriage bolt and you're gonna run 2 on each side of the bench. Put it in all the way, put a washer and then a nut. These are galvanized. And then I'm gonna put 2 more washers. These are 5/16 bolts. And I'm gonna leave that right there, and then I'm gonna put a locking nut on here with nylon. The link will go right in here, and that's where it's gonna hang in between those 2 washers right there, just like that. We have 2 sets of chains, 1 for each side, okay? Let me put this one aside. It's going to look like this, like an upside down Y. These are 25 links each section. I just made them even. It worked out that way. Worked out good. You're going to need a quick connector up top, and then a quick connector to hold the top chain to the 2 bottom chains. And these are going to drop down right in the handles that you drilled, and you're going to hook them onto those bolts how I showed you. So 3 pieces of chain, 25 links each. This is an 1/8-inch chain, which is good. So there you go. That's how you, there you go. We have everything loaded up. Now it's just time to get on the road to go to LA, 2-hour drive. But for you, it'll only take a couple seconds. We'll be there. Keep going. Keep going. Straight. Step on the tool. Take your ankle. We're gonna go up 3 lengths and move this washer out. 3 lengths, this one's set out, the washer goes back in, and then the nut goes on. Don't drop it. Okay, so that's how it goes. I'm gonna snug that down, and that's how it hangs. So I'm gonna do the other 3. Go up. Let me get it started. All right. If you like this video, go check out this one. Cut that.